Take one at your ready.
I'm glad to see you all here today. We seem to have quite a wide representation of people from many walks of life. I'm reminded of Jesus' disciples. Of course, I'm a pastor, and in many places that Jesus found each of them. Some were fishermen, some were tax collectors, some, I'm sure, were ordinary people going about their days. There's a similarity I find striking between the variety here today and the variety in many denominations of the faith we see in the world today, although I bet the differences between each of you aren't as much due to heated arguments about, the role of communion, as much as they are about where you grew up and what your parents were like. Let's see. What are the denominations we have? There are the Catholics and the Orthodox, and the Protestants and their many further subdivisions, Lutherans and Presbyterians, and Methodists and Anglicans too, I suppose, so on and so forth. Beyond the denominational differences, there are the differences between how we think we as Christians should apply our beliefs to the world. Do we believe, like many of our founding fathers, that God was active in the past, but today his involvement is very small and so we must make our own godly changes? Do we believe that Jesus' kindness should be extended not just to our human neighbors, but to our environment, and so we need to be extremely cautious with our natural resources? Should we practice the teachings of Jesus only in strict accordance to the social movements of our time? Should we consider who Jesus was as a human and the historical context around him in order to properly understand his message? Or can we reevaluate the meanings of his messages in our current cultural context? Although there is a strength in the discussion of different interpretations of the teachings of God, we must be careful. If we as Christians get too caught up in the minute details of interpretations, we risk losing track of the fundamental principles which brought us all to the faith in the first place. The first converts were converted by a single historical fact, which is the resurrection, and a single theological doctrine, which is the redemption. They didn't need a complete bibliography of citations in order to decide if they would become believers. Through these two simple components, they became merely Christian, and for them that was enough. They didn't need any distractions or disunity during the uphill battle that they faced in their spreading of the faith, and through the simplistic outlook on the teachings of Jesus, they were able to spread the word. So this week I beg you, strive to be merely Christian. Follow the doctrine of redemption, that is forgiveness, as we have been forgiven, and remember the resurrection, and that will be enough in the eyes of the Lord. Thank you. Thought I'd throw that in there.